Hello, welcome back. I'm Baz. This is I Sharpen, and today I'm sharpening scissors. I've got two pairs, but I just wanted to share some tips in case it helps you. So this is the scissor jig, and it's got two landing areas. The problem with sharpening scissors is that they chatter. They vibrate and they make a horrible screeching sound. And the way to avoid that is to clamp as much as possible. So if you can extend it onto this second clamp, then do so. Clamp them all down. Keep this rest as close to the wheel as possible without scraping. That should theoretically hold some screeching, but we'll see. We'll see in a minute. Now, another thing I wanted to mention was, how do you set the angle? Well, the way I set the angle is I use the marker method. So I colour the bevel, the existing bevel, providing you've got a good original looking existing bevel. All right. And then, now this one's already been set up, but you can get the idea. Then I pull, make sure it's all set up, locked in nice, and I pull against the blade, and you can see that that is perfectly set up there. Right? So that should work perfectly. Now, also, let's say that you don't have a good angle. Right? What angle should you use? And what I mean by you don't have a good angle is that these the bevels are they've been maybe filed by somebody before. They're not original looking, and you're not quite sure what to sharpen at. Well, the general angle is around about 55 degrees, right? But it's a bit of a hassle to get in here and measure in there. There's a little landing there. You can sort of get that in there, but another way is to just add 12 degrees and measure straight off the rest. Right? So that's 55 degrees on the scissor blade now, or 56 actually. And if I loosen that a little bit and then pop it up on the rest and tighten it up, you can see that it's gone about 11 or 12 degrees more. Right? So the tip that I got was to add 10 degrees, but I think it's a little bit more than that. Now, so once that's set up, it also helps if your wheel is very well set up, and by that I mean faced and trued and dressed, because you want to get this rest as close as possible to that. If it's bouncing up and down, which doesn't matter when you're sharpening knives, but when you're sharpening scissors, you want to get this rest down as close as possible to that wheel, so that you can eliminate length, vibration, things like that. So another tip is that leave the wheel coarse. Scissors, especially material scissors, they like a little bit of not serration, but a little bit of grip along the side. So let's crank it up and see what happens. Perfect, no chattering. A little bit more. A little bit of squealing right at the end there. And basically what you want to do is you want to feel a burr here. It doesn't have to be very big, but it definitely has to exist. And to be honest, I think that is a little bit light. I can feel it. And did you know that this fingertip is way more sensitive than your index finger? So try and use this tip here for measuring, for feeling for a burr. And actually I can feel a burr there, and I think that's done. Just a couple of passes is all you need. How beautiful is that? All right, that's all you need. So if you want to hang around, I'm going to do the other side now. So we loosen the lock nuts off. Another thing is you want to set this up, not right up inside against the blade, but back a little bit so that this angle has to be greater than 90 degrees. Otherwise, you're going to run into the side of the stone here. All right, so it has to be away. So this has to be over enough. So make sure you keep that in mind. So let's do this. Might have to make a face to undo these tight screws. Turn the scissors over. And like that's extreme, right? See how that angle is very obtuse? Right, but that's plenty right there. And we've got a little bit of the tip, although it's not as much because this side is thinner than that side, but that should be okay without scraping on the actual jig. And if not, that's cool. You can set them all up entirely in here, but you'll probably get some chattering. So it's a little bit awkward, but you'll get it. Now I don't do hairdressing scissors because I don't know if you can remember going to the hairdresser and having them cut your hair and it pulls your hair. I don't want to be responsible for that. So I don't do hairdressing scissors. They require a different machine. I think it's called the Twice as Sharp, TAS. Right, that looks good. Tighten the lock nuts. No, that's a bit down. If you find you have to tighten them too much, it means you have to screw this in a bit more. Helps if you make a face. Okay. Now, if you want to be on the safe side, you can make a marker. I've already marked this one, but I'll just demonstrate. Make sure that angle is correct. And if not, you can always adjust it for the second blade. Perfect. See that? All the way across. You want that. So let's see if we get chattering this time. My water's a bit dirty because I've just faced my wheel. No chattering. That's beautiful. Let's have a look there. That's nice. But you can see that I've missed a few spots, so I have to focus a little bit better. Well, I've missed a bit the back there. This bit here hasn't quite gotten. I've got a little bit of a burr there and I've missed the tip. And you have to sometimes revolve them around to get the tip, to get the base, or the heel. I don't know if these are called heel in there, I suppose it is. A little bit of a hiss at the end. Hope that didn't hurt your ears. And you can see I've still missed a little bit. Let's make sure there's no water on there. Oh, let's turn them around. Right, you can see I've missed a little bit there. The heel is good. The tip has a little tiny black spot there, which is going to annoy the dressmakers because they often work just on the tip, just snip, snip, snip. So we've got to make sure we get that tip. Making sure we're flat up against the rest. Perfect. Still a little bit of black in the middle here, which I want to get. Could be some damage was before. We don't want to miss that because often around about in the middle is when they glide through the material. So you want to make sure they can do that as well. So one more pass maybe. Two more. Perfect. Perfect. Great tip. All done. Is it? Yep. That middle black is gone and we're all the way into the heel. That's perfect. Perfect job. And is there a burr? Yes. We'll test it in a minute. And when people bring their scissors in, I ask them to bring some material that's bothering them so I can do a before and after test. And these were pushing, so when you're to break that burr, I just put a bit of pressure on here, and that's all you need. Just get them to rub against each other, and that's perfect. Another thing you want to do is tighten the screw if you can, so that the scissor falls around about between 1/4 and 3/4. Usually around about 1/3 is ideal, but I tightened it up to 1/3, but it started to grip too much, and some people's hands are a little bit sore, so you don't want to have it too tight. But that is a great fall and should cut beautifully. Sounds great. Let's try some material. Okay, so this is the material they were having some trouble with. It's like a denim style thing, but they said doubled over. They were making curtains, I think. Doubled over. Beautiful. And the tip? Nice. Nice. Very good. Very good. I'm happy with that. That's done. And that's how I sharpen scissors on the Tormek T8 with the scissor jig, which is called the SVX 150 scissor jig. When I first started using this, I'd get screeching and it was horrible. I said, no, I don't do scissors, but now I do. And they will last for a very long time. They'll be very happy. Snip, snip. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing because I want you to join our little happy community. Tormek does a good job. See you in the next video.